Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to LCK Summer 2019. I am Atlas, and I am joined by LS for our second match of the evening. DAMWON Gaming are going to be taking on the Afreeca Freecs in just a moment. But before that, LS, I want to get to some important news. We're having a discussion about the gender of Baron Nashor.
Yes.
And what I hadn't realized, what our friend on Pierre has told me, is that in fact, Baron is a title, not his name. And my mind was blown. I was like, I thought his first name was Baron. No, it's not. His name is Baron Nashor. Therefore, that is a male title. If he was a female, it would be Baroness Nashor.
That's my lore lesson.
Incredible stuff.
Amazing.
So Pierre letting us know on Twitter. Thank you so much for that one. And now it is time to get into the match. Afreeca Freecs versus DAMWON Gaming. This is certainly top of the table, even if it looks like Afreeca Freecs are a bottom tier team. They are one of our teams on 8 wins, 5 losses. SKT got out of that in our last match, moving themselves up to 3rd place, just under a Sandbox Gaming, who are a game behind, of course.
Yeah, and, you know, like you're mentioning about the 8 and 5, a lot of people just had this record. Everyone that is basically Sandbox through King Zone are all sort of in the same exact boat. DAMWON is only slightly ahead of them by a hair. And then we go down there to the Mariana Trench.
Which I think is deeper than we thought. Did you see that recent Megalodon movie? Apparently that trench goes even deeper than we knew. Yeah, and there's big old sharks there. Watched it on a plane, not a great film, but look.
Okay.
The hypothesis is that the Mariana Trench is in fact even deeper, so Jin Greenwings, there is further to fall.
Okay.
Which is a frightening one. Points of the match though, Afreeca want to be on the west side versus DAMWON wants to solidify their first place spot with the 11th victory. That's a big one. That's going to mean 2 matches out in front of the second place team, be that whoever it is going to be at the end of this week. Certainly second place is well and truly up for grabs for all 7 of our top 7 teams.
And I mean, you know, honestly, with only a couple of weeks now remaining, 3 if you include this one.
Yeah.
2 wins in the lead is quite big, especially when you consider that some people have easy roads ahead of them, and obviously some have hard ahead of them. And other match points, most kills in the LCK, DAMWON versus, LCK DAMWON Gaming versus second most kills Afreeca, Super Smash match with fantastic, I couldn't read the other match.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
All right.
That's okay. That's okay. Mostly, the last one was about the Kai'Sa pick for Nuclear and the Ezreal pick for aiming that he has really been popping off on. His Ezreal is hyper aggressive. I think him and Deft are our most aggressive Ezreals in the league at the moment. Having a look at the statistics, Team Gold at 30 minutes is our highest for our most winning team.
Yeah.
Surprise.
And Afreeca, not the best KDA right there. They are in 6th, whereas DAMWON, they are 2nd. But although the kills aren't that different,
that's
to be
true.
Completely honest, they're not that wide apart comparatively to
the
deaths and the assists.
Yeah, exactly.
Are
so
very,
DAMWON,
very different.
they like to kill and die together.
Yeah.
That's what they like. Because we're going to check out some highlights here of the Afreeca Freecs. Surprising stat for both of these teams was, in fact, the first blood percentage, which was 8th place for Afreeca and 9th place for DAMWON. So starting a little bit more slowly, have they been? As this was the King Zone loss to another Ezreal. They're pretty good at losing to Ezreals at this point after their SKT match that we just witnessed. Game number 1 being a masterclass from our friend Teddy, as this was the epic outplay from Kiin. 1 versus 3, no worries.
Yeah.
Easy peasy. Or was it 1 versus 2? 1 versus 2, Shape Splitter confused the heck out of it. It was Dorang that got into the Penta with his 1 versus 2 play on the cannon. I have a feeling that Kiin would have been a little bit salty about that one because he did it first.
And there's Ucal on the Yasuo, trying to just dish out as much as he possibly can.
Yep, and also Ucal been playing very, very well over the last few weeks, which he's going to need to continue doing because he's up against ShowMaker here today. Checking out the DAMWON highlights. ShowMaker coming in, stealing away some kills.
Yeah.
But,
And also, we got to see Evelyn,
yeah,
which was interesting.
certainly was a lot of fun. DAMWON certainly were just playing with their food against the Jin Green Wings. You and I had a tough time.
Yeah.
In that particular broadcast, finding anything about the game to talk about. Thankfully, there were plenty of things not about the game to have discussions about during that one.
You know, sometimes there's just a lot of action, but not a lot of action happening at the same time. Sometimes that's sort of like what's going on.
Yeah, that was sort of the aim of the game for this particular series.
It's like if fireworks didn't make noise
Yeah,
and they didn't glow.
right. So they have. Is that like if a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it? Does it actually
Yeah,
fall?
something.
Is that one of
Something's
those sort
going
of
on, yeah.
questions? As Nuguri's got good stats.
Does he?
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Well, Atlas, if you'll raise your eyes to the very top there, you'll notice that he's in second for the KDA, so
Not impressed.
yeah.
Remember, it's Sword that's in first. He has a 4.0
KDA player. That's what it is.
Well,
so
is he a player? He doesn't play for that team.
he doesn't.
anymore.
Well, that's why.
All right, preserve the KDA.
Preserve the KDA.
Damn, all
That's right.
Damn,
As
that's a five-head maneuver.
This matchup is going to be interesting. Kiin has been wavering the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
He's still obviously really, really, really strong, but Nuguri has stepped up quite a lot, and some would probably consider that he has the current edge or leg up in the matchup.
Absolutely, and based on form of these teams as well, you have to look to Nuguri. But the last time that we saw Kiin play, and with that wry smirk on his face as we introduced the Afreeca Freecs to LoL Park, we saw glimmers of what made Kiin that legendary top laner in seasons past. And this could be a real time for him to prove that he is still deserving of all of the accolades that have been thrown his way. He's one of those players that we really wished we'd sent to Worlds, you know, one of those players that we wish could move off the Afreeca Freecs when they weren't performing so
when he was
well.
stuck.
When he was, hard stuck Afreeca. Now, though, he's surrounded by a lot of young players and a lot of young talent. Dread stepping up, Ucal finding his form here in summer, and even aiming. His Ezreal performances have been out of control, and he's been playing so far forward, really does work in with Kiin's aggressive style. And if you just don't want to worry about it, you just put him on a split pusher, and he plays that cannon very, very well also. So we saw that highlight before this one. DAMWON making their way out now. Our undisputed best team, or at least #1 team in the LCK at the moment, SKT, trying to vie for that position. Coach Kim there beside them as well. Of course, no stranger to going to Worlds and wants to get DAMWON there this year as well. Will be 2 years in a row for him to be representing a team at the World Championships. Of course, formerly the coach of Invictus Gaming, World Champions of 2018.
Well, no surprise here for the starting lineups, as we already have mentioned.
It's almost a surprise that there's no surprise, though. The fact that the Afreeca Freecs have kept a stable roster throughout all of this season, in fact, never making a substitution throughout the season, is staggering if you have a look back to spring, where they fielded, players in 15 different roles and things like that. It is, it's a disaster. If you go into any of the databases for what the Afreeca Freecs were doing in the spring season, it's a nightmare to navigate. Spirits listed in like 3 different roles.
I wonder if we'll ever see him play again.
I hope so. I like Spirit.
Yeah.
I actually, do you know what I care about? I just care that he's on the team, because then I can have a chat to him backstage, because Spirit is just a really nice guy to hang out with. So I don't need him to play the League of Legends, because Dread's doing pretty well here for the Afreeca Freecs at the moment, as long as he's a part of the team. That's what I require. Kiin getting ready. ShowMaker, the man that has been a name whispered on many a lip in recent weeks. His performances have been incredible.
He got 300 MVP points last week.
Yep. 3 out of the 4 games that they played, I believe. I think it was 2 zeros across the board. No. Wait, hang on. Let me double check. Nope, they 2-1 Sandbox, so...
We're jumping into band pick here, Atlas.
Yeah, let's get into that one. As it will be Afreeca starting off with the correct colors for them. On the blue side, DAMWON will be on the red, meaning the counter pick for Nuguri is something to think about. But Ezreal, I think, is going to be a big priority here for both of these teams. And we mentioned that the Jace and Talia are re-enabled, only Mordekaiser being in that unable to be played bin.
Yeah.
And I think both of those champions are going to be very important for both Nuguri and Kiin.
Yeah, we can
and Ucal
definitely
and
see both contested. And Talia being one of the champions that can go up against Azir reasonably well. We'll see if maybe that is on the agenda for Ucal, as Corki already bites the dust.
Yeah, Kenny and the Ezreal going to be taken away by DAMWON Gaming as well. The Jace does find its way into the ban list, though, here for the Afreeca Freecs, and they're thinking about a different first pick. To be locked in, Yuumi is still gliding around on her book.
Are you sure that she glides? Or does she float?
Well, is it she that floats?
Yeah.
Or is it the book?
Ooh. I like what you did there.
See, turning it around on you.
Oh, you
Keep
really
it on
hit me
your
with
toes.
that. Yeah, the double whammy right there. Okay.
Well, Gragas going to be the last ban here, denying that Gragas Yasuo synergy. And Ucal, of course, a fantastic Yasuo player. As a first pick, Kai'Sa would be an odd one. But picking it away from Nuclear seems to be the game plan here for the Afreeca Freecs.
Well, they actually picked the Xayah. So she is susceptible to the Kai'Sa in the later stages.
Not a lot of Rakan in Senan's playbook. Checking in on the win rate. He's 1-1, but is currently sitting on a 7 KDA on the champion as well. So see whether this young man's mechanics can get this one worked out. Sylas being considered now and locked away for Nuguri. Three-way flex here for that particular pickup. We loved it from Khan in our previous series in the second game. Could be topside, but ShowMaker as well is a man that can certainly get some crazy things happening on this Sylas.
Yeah. And we'll see what the next pickup is going to be. Will they just lock in the support champion here?
Karthus also available this time.
It's actually going to be...
Varus.
Yeah, Varus is picked up, so... Pass back now to Afreeca. Will we see the Rakan? Like you just mentioned, okay. Snapped up, so now...
Oh, and the Renekton comes in as well.
Baby.
Tom Kench Varus.
Tom Kench.
Don't, please, just pick it up.
Oh, yeah.
Calm down.
It's a whole lot of action now down in the bot lane. I'll tell you that much, Alice, okay? Try as Riot may, you just can't get him off his boat.
Nope.
All right?
You can't bench that Kench.
There's not a bench big enough.
Nope.
For this catfish.
Not regal enough for Sir Thomas Kench. Not regal enough at all. Speaking of regal, decent segue there, as the Azir is going to be banned away. No Emperors of the Sands allowed, as the Hemomancer is going to suffer the same fate.
And now, Vladimir is not going to be able to be picked up by Nuguri, as you just mentioned.
Likely that Nuguri will be playing the Sylas anyway.
Yeah.
However, into the Renekton matchup, do you really want to be going there? Sounds like a toughie.
Well, Talia banned. And Afreeca, they're going to need heavy-hitting AP. And with the Renekton already picked up, I would be very surprised not to just see Elise be the jungle pick.
Oh, yeah.
By Afreeca. And so now if you know that you're walking into Elise, maybe you just pick it. You just take that Elise.
Maybe. Or you pick Nico, because Nico's a really good champion.
Oh. Is that what you do?
I mean, that's what I'd do.
That's what you would do?
I think that's a good idea.
That's why you've been playing TFT. It's going to be Camille.
Oh, obviously. Damn it. And I've been playing TFT, so I know, you know, it's like...
Yeah, you know that she's coming out
the
on
new
PvE.
Hex Tech.
Right.
Exactly. Get that Blade Master in there. Would you have expected that she'd be a Blade Master?
I thought she would be robot, to be honest.
Yeah, we had this discussion.
Yeah, we did. We definitely did. As Rise being hovered right now and locked in.
Yeah, and of course, a lot of flexibility. Yeah, the Elise, like you were talking about, is going to come in. The classic duo of jungle top lane in the Elise Renekton, about as predictable when it comes to the path that Dread will be taking as you would like. And of course, Dread, a bit notorious on this Elise. He has games where he gets 3 kills in the early game and then just ints from then on, or they just win the game very, very quickly. In true Afreeca fashion, the team that has not necessarily a heck of a lot of consistency to their name, as That is going to be the jungle Silas. So the LeBlanc is locked in, and that's going to be up against Ucal's Rise. Or Ucal's Renekton.
LeBlanc just self-countered herself, which is really surprising.
You can't exactly self-counter anyone else, though, can you?
Well, yeah, I'm not quite sure where to go with that, Atlas. You really just left me dry there with that line. Okay, so the LeBlanc
Can you give me the
up
time
against
again?
the Rise is really, really surprising. And so this pick has to mostly probably come down to them saying that they want a chaotic kind of game. And they just want to accelerate fast and end this. Both of these teams want to get the ball rolling. They want to put on the heat really early and keep accelerating. But the DAMWON team composition doesn't have the ability to quite go as late. And so, as you're seeing it, you have Xayah, you have Rise on this team composition, and then you have Elise and Renekton, which are actually going to do fine when you see the champions that they're up against.
Yeah, you have to remember that Elise Renekton are a bridging tool to get those late game carries online and put the pressure in the lane where it needs to be, which is in the lane that can keep Nuguri down. I think this is actually very important. Nuguri, though, is one of these players that takes Kleptomancy on Camille into Renekton and still wins the matchup. Whether she can do that into Kiin or not is the big question here, and could be a problem because he has bitten off more than he can chew in the past. Nuguri is certainly a confidence player. Let's see how it's going to go as we get into game one. Okay, here we are. Lovely evening here in Runeterra as sepia mode has set in.
Ridiculous. Atlas,
And look,
you said,
look
here
at,
we
look
are.
at Sir Thomas.
Look at him.
Look at how majestic he is.
This is definitely the kind of photo I would love to take. Someone needs to paint that freeze frame.
Yeah. I just need it. I need it cropped. I need to crop it for only Thomas.
Exactly.
I believe Ucal has a little bit of an issue at the moment. Something about a keyboard unable to type things in Korean, which could be a problem. Sunkei being hilarious at the moment on the Korean broadcast by the sounds of things.
That's actually surprising. So I've seen a lot of Korean players. They often type the letter in English often. Although I guess obviously I haven't seen all Korean players, but in my subjective experiences, I have noticed that usually it's just F for flash or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. So using
or they just won't even write the letter. It's just going to be the numbers, and then they'll ping it from the tab menu.
Yeah, because you can do that.
Yeah.
Easy. Well, Ucal still wants to be able to type in Korean.
You know who's the fastest typist?
Who?
DWG. He can. It's the creepiest / craziest and most fascinating thing ever. He can be mid-team fight, and he'll type with one hand, summoner spells as they're being cast.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Damn, I knew that guy was incredibly good, but that's
extremely fast left hand.
Wow.
It is so insane.
Is he left-handed?
I don't know if he's left-handed, but he's the fastest typer. You'll be playing if you watch him in solo queue, you ever get him in a game or something. Team fight's happening, and you notice that someone's typing while casting spells.
That is nutty.
It's pretty weird.
That is really weird, but also extraordinarily impressive. And DWG didn't need to be any more impressive. As a Nuguri fan there in the audience,
he's doing
to get an MVP.
You get it?
Yeah, he's doing V.
Doing his best. I don't think that's what it's meant for, but yeah, that's a raccoon.
Yep. As Afreeca fans now, a lot of fans of these top laners, LS, Kiin and Nuguri certainly have been standout players for both of these teams.
That's a very cute polar bear looking thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to throw that out there.
I want to throw out there that we still don't have Pengu plushes yet.
Oh God, I'm so disappointed.
I'm so sad.
We for those that are listening, let's talk about the real tragedy of August 21st, 2019 in South Korea.
Hi guys.
Hello. We came in to the Riot store, Atlas and I. We ventured over.
We did.
To the employee, and we asked, where is Pengu?
Cafe.
Yeah, and he said he didn't know. And to which we asked, well, when is Pengu coming?
And he said he didn't know.
And he said he didn't know. So, yeah. Doesn't get much more disappointing than that.
Well, Nuguri getting cocooned, potentially. Could be a problem. Hookshot comes out. The longest auto attack of any Elise's career.
That looked like a giant saliva ball. Just,
yeah.
It looked like, did you ever have those kids in high school that they would get spitballs with straws?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah,
that's what the Elise auto is.
They were all over the roof of our
Oh, it's
our
so
high school.
Disgusting. Yeah.
It's just not how you want to live your life.
It really isn't.
Lots of deep vision is actually able to be put down here by DAMWON Gaming as the Afreeca Freecs went for that big invade. So despite the fact that Nuguri had to take hookshot early, not sure whether that's even necessarily a bad thing, probably want tactical sweep, but isn't going to be too worried about having that one. It means that a lot of extra vision is now available for DAMWON, and we'll know exactly where this Elise is. Early on, Ucal going to be taking the Electrocute in this lane against the LeBlanc. And how has this matchup evolved since the minor rework of the Rise?
The Rise isn't super popular, but it still plays out relatively the same way. Okay. So it's not like it's evolving completely like Rise got massively reworked. But they're both taking Electrocute, which is very surprising. It's also Ignite against Teleport, and so we're going to have to see what type of things ShowMaker and Canyon can actually do. This is also not 915, which features a LeBlanc buff.
Yes,
very slightly, but a buff nonetheless.
Well, Canyon's going to steal some chickens, and Dread is going to steal a red buff, which ain't a bad trade if you are on Dread's side of this matchup. Ucal down to half health, though, and there's a Silas towards the mid lane. Not interested, though. He's going to be heading over to the Krug camp, as that red is not going to be his to take. Dread also there, and this is exactly where Dread is expected to be throughout most of this early.
Even if they can't see him right now, they know exactly what he's doing, where he's at. Nuguri also getting pretty good Kleptomancy procs this early on.
Sweeping Kiin a few times there as well, pretty tactically.
Yeah, you see, I just don't know how Camille wasn't a robot in TFT, but we're going to find out why maybe in a second.
Well, we're looking for a cocoon. We are going to land it there as well, as Kiin's going to get the first blood. Easy as you like. Dread hops up into the sky, gets rid of that turret aggro, and this is what this combo does, and Nuguri couldn't do anything about it.
Yep. That was a pretty cookie cutter gank right there up in top lane, and now the lane is coming into Kiin. And this is going to be a bit of a nightmare situation for the Camille, because Nuguri does not want to fall further behind, because otherwise we can end up having those situations that rarely occur in pro play, with like the 2-level discrepancies and the several thousand gold swing inside of a lane early on. And it should be noted that the first dragon of the game, not super important to either one of these comps. It is Clown Drake.
Yep. So maybe not going to have a big battle trying to get towards that one, as Ucal takes a chain, but our ShowMaker takes a lot of damage from some creeps on his way back out. 28 to 24, nothing really to talk about when it comes to that mid lane matchup, as Canyon moving towards this mid lane as we talk about it. But Ucal, with the safety of his turret right there, will be absolutely fine. Flash still available also, and speaking of flashes, no one flashing on the side of Afreeca Freecs or DAMWON Gaming, despite there being a first blood.
Look at the item that Dread just picked up. He actually got the Sorkpen boots.
Damn, that is aggressive.
First item, yeah. He's going to go super aggro, and they don't know about this yet.
Well, he's booking it. Now that he's got some sweet new shoes, they're made for walking. He's got a lot of legs to do that as well, as he's playing the Elise, and he's going to be heading towards that top side of the map one more time. Vision available here for Nuguri.
Oh.
As Dread speeding on up. Gets a control ward in, as Canyon is lying in wait, looking for the counter gang.
Oh, they still don't know about him. Now they do.
Yep, and Dread is just going to scuttle his way out. And now the rest of the Afreeca Freecs understand that there is no need to worry about any junglers being in the area. Ucal does have ShowMaker going back to base. He's going to be able to even things out as far as farm. Will be able to get himself a decent back timing also, as Cocoon's going to land on a Nuguri. He's going to go down very low, gets a magic damage shield as Repel gets Dread out of harm's way. Senan cancels an auto attack here towards the bottom side as Nuguri just wants to be left alone in a 1v1.
Yeah. He's just begging to be left alone. He's actually not super far behind currently.
Oh, Canyon backing on a ward. There are cocoons available here. As Dread can blast Cone over. He's waiting to see what what Canyon is going to do. And Nuguri gonna move on back there as well. Feels like DAMWON just with no idea of what's going on. Ucal's going to turn up. The cocoon lands. All of the buttons are going to ring true as Realm Warp isn't even necessary. And the Afreeca Freecs can now transition this into a turret plate gank if they want to as well. Hell in a handbasket, LS. This is a disaster.
It's a turret plate, but in addition to that, it's also all of the CS that Camille got zoned off of. Look at Nuguri. He's still level 5. Kiin is... he's a couple of minions into level 6 already, and now the wave is actually coming into Kiin. I don't know what Nuguri is doing. I think he's
diving
tilting
into a cocoon.
Yeah, he's tilting off the face of the planet. He valued the couple hundred damage onto Dread's Elise rather than getting more experience from the minions.
He just needed to send a message, and the message has been received. I am upset, I believe is what it said. You don't need to be able to type on your keyboard like Ucal was complaining about earlier on to understand that that is how he's feeling, though. It is the dreaded combo of the Elise Renekton that's getting Afreeca through this lane. Has translated into an over 1,000 gold lead. 7 minutes. But remember, both of these teams with disastrous first blood percentages. Despite that, DAMWON still have the highest win rate as far as games in the league. So
yeah,
do with that information what you will. It is certainly not over yet.
1.1 thousand gold lead right now, though, for Afreeca. And remember, the DAMWON team composition is the one that wanted to get ahead. They have no wave clear. They have very weak pick in the sense that nothing is really just straight up stun into something.
Yeah,
they have to actually combat.
Yeah, they have Chains of Corruption. I think Chains of Corruption into Chains, Ethereal Chains, sorry, as Nuguri. Hextech Ultimatum comes in. Kiin flashes. An easy solo kill. Turret's going to make it a 1-for-1, but you'll take that any day of the week if you're watching the enemy creeps dying to a turret while you go down.
Yeah, and now the wave is actually coming back into Kiin, so he's going to be feeling really good about that. He now has a BF sword. Canyon a little bit easy, or a little bit busy eating the Raptor camp. Doesn't even bother to go up to the red. It's just going to be stolen away. And Dread's going to start utilizing rubber banding to try to close the gap between Canyon and himself in terms of experience.
Yep, he's actually heading gold
big trade in mid,
at the moment. Yeah, like you were talking about. Electrocute proc comes down from Ucal, and he's going towards a very early Rod of Ages. Understands that this composition is going to spike relatively early. He skips the tier in order to build this rower as early as he possibly can. Because, of course, so incredibly gold efficient now. Since that item was recently buffed, of course, gives you so much bang for your metaphorical buck. So, really nicely done there from Ucal just to maximize the amount of efficiency he gets from his item.
And the thing about this itemization path on Rise in this game is, like I was saying earlier, none of the pick happens instantaneously. It sort of follows up with some combat. So it'll definitely be really good. As we see this right here, Kiin goes all the way back in, but it wasn't necessary to take it that far. And even though the lane state is still good for him, he could have easily have just accepted the advantages that he had already accrued and just said, okay, well, I guess I win.
Yep, take the flash.
Yeah.
As Dread shows his face, this Cloud Drake is being taken down low, Canyon down to about half health. As Dread will scuttle his way over, needs to be respected instantly. Teleport comes in. The Silas does lock down the Drake, but now the engage has started. Two-man knock-up from Senan, but he's going to go down for it, and Nuguri on the backside is now trying to cause a ruckus. Kiin as well, getting kited by BeryL and Nuclear as ShowMaker's still waiting from around the side. A 1-for-1, but DAMWON Gaming do take the Drake.
Yep, and they make it out with the Cloud Dragon. Not the most impactful Drake, though, as they're going to be the ones that are playing defense across all of the lanes, so the mobility not going to be the most impactful.
Yep.
As now Shelly probably going to be next on the agenda. LeBlanc's time in the middle lane has all but ended now. Rod of Ages completed on the Rise. And after this, he's just going to start to become an immovable object. As you can see, DAMWON, they burst down the dragon, but then Canyon gets so low as it is. The cocoon comes in on him. Senan ends up going down. Nuguri, not really sure why he teleported anyway. There was no universe where a fight would end up actually ensuing. And then everyone breaks off.
Well, it's lucky for Afreeca Freecs that Nuguri wasn't left on his own towards the top side of the map. You can see it's 1,000 gold lead just between the top laners as we bring that one up, and it's an 1,000 gold lead between these two teams. So everywhere else, things very even. That tier finally picked up from Ucal as his teleport is just about to come off as well. ShowMaker, like you mentioned earlier on, does have the ignite, so mobility in the advantage of Ucal. Canyon dived on in here, and of course Control Ward in the brush means that he was unseen. Will be seen as soon as he gets out of that brush, I believe. No, Control just a little bit too far away. He's still not going to find too much joy. Freeca smelling something in the water there.
What is it that there's not? Do you know? What?
Thomas.
Oh.
Thomas is cooking.
He makes cookies?
No, he's cooking.
Oh, he's
Master
cooking.
Chef.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What is he cooking?
I don't
And
know.
how do you cook underwater?
Well, I mean, you'd have to talk to Thomas about that. I'm not the expert.
Nope.
I thought you and Thomas were good friends.
There's no way to cook underwater, Atlas. Okay,
And you can. You just boil things.
I'm done.
That's literally what cooking underwater
Okay,
is.
you know what?
The definition of boiling something.
He just finds open sea vents.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that was the birthplace of all life, you know?
Oh,
In
okay.
theory, if that's the theory that you subscribe to.
Okay.
Yeah. Them underwater vents. Pretty important stuff. You know, you were talking about the Mariana Trench before. Probably not down there. Don't quite know where those particular vents existed. Well, Dread just shows himself, but that's because of a clever ward in the lane from Nuguri. Looks like a turret plate gank, though, to me, as Shelly could be next on the menu like you were talking about. Earlier on, script wide open in front of LS.
Yeah. I'm just not turning the page yet. Because there's still a lot to go on page number 1.
Yeah.
So just simmer down. Enjoy what is happening here. What we're doing right now, okay, is currently in bot
taking
lane.
a hell of a lot of damage.
Yeah.
What's happening by the looks of things.
Teleport even, actually.
Yeah, that is a realm warp. Sorry. Yeah, it is. So I believe Canyon realm warping in with a hijacked version of the ability. But the minion wave is going to be eradicated. And Kiin moves down, Shelly is claimed.
And they're just going to come up and run it, plant it right down in top lane immediately.
You're going to have to jam her, otherwise she's not going to be able to get those remaining plates. 15 seconds to go now. It's a race, as the minion wave is certainly not here.
Will the... Yeah, it's
4,
going to go.
7,
Yeah,
6,
she's going to charge.
5,
She's going to charge.
4.
Stop making her nervous.
Don't keep the suspense, man.
You're rushing.
Okay, sorry.
Were you rushing or were you dragging?
Well, Dread is dying, taking a hell of a lot of damage here as BeryL gets in at the right time. Hextech Ultimatum comes down, Kiin trying to fight back, but will have to dice his way out of this one just to get devoured. Almost got spat out over the wall, but it doesn't matter where he goes. He is straight up dead as the Afreeca Freecs lose their top lane and jungle, and things are starting to unravel.
Yeah. And DAMWON, they get a very much needed break at this point in time. It's also going to help Nuguri come back online. And ShowMaker is trying to keep everyone together inside of this game, as we see BeryL here very early on, smacking the spider. With the help of Nuguri, able to knock her down. Q no longer applies the stack. Ends up eating the very large crocodile, or is he an alligator?
I think he's a crocodile.
I think he's a crocodile, yeah.
Outback Renekton would give it away.
Okay.
Because we don't have alligators in Australia. And Outback Renekton, I believe, is an Australian skin. We also have a lot of lifeguards.
Do
So
you?
Pool party Renekton's back
Oh,
animation makes a
okay.
lot of sense.
That
Not a lot of them are crocodiles.
Where's the
When your
kangaroo
lifeguard is a
champion?
crocodile, that's a big problem. kangaroo champion.
Yeah, where's the kangaroo?
Well, I mean, Skull should theoretically be a kangaroo in one of the
it?
skins that comes out for Kled in the future. Am I right?
Yeah, that sounds actually
Kangaroo
really good.
rider? That's amazing.
That actually does sound very good.
Yeah, we need that.
Yeah, we do. We absolutely do.
And I'm going to talk to the Oceanic Ride office after this series. Just
have them put in a request.
Yeah, get them working on it.
Yep. Can definitely see that working.
That's a skin for the people.
Yeah.
We need that. Spirit Sojourn is done. Been done for a while here for Kiin, as Nuclear moves himself towards the top side of the map. Bit of a switcheroo here. Got both of our duo lanes. BeryL waiting behind the turret, but Aiming's able to clear that one out pretty comfortably. He's only down by 10 CS, despite the laning phase feeling a bit rough for the Talia. Sorry, for the Xayah.
Well, Aiming and Senan now, they're trying to farm underneath this turret. Might have to be a little bit careful, though. ShowMaker.
Yep, quickness has been picked up by Canyon. Didn't pull the trigger immediately on that hijacked ability. As BeryL looking to sweep some vision out as he moves down the river. Back in his natural habitat is the Thomas Kench. Has spellbooked himself an Exhaust and a Ghost. He'll be booking it around this map. Is Ucal pretty comfy here in the mid lane, just stacking up that tier. He's got 7 stacks on the Rod of Ages. That is about as gold efficient as he could possibly get. Unless it gets another 3 stacks, in which case it would be even more. Nuguri comes in, spots a control ward. Isn't going to take the time to clear that one out just yet. As the gold lead is still there for the Afreeca Freecs, but it's feeling like this game isn't falling apart for DAMWON like it was in the early game.
No.
It could be really dangerous for Afreeca. They need to keep the pressure on.
And we're approaching the mid-game moments where DAMWON is basically going to experience a critical point in the game where they're going to need to do something to stay relevant. And if they can't, then we might end up seeing similar things to what we saw earlier on tonight between SKT and Kingzone.
Yep. The old nothing, 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 we win the game.
Yeah. That's always very fun. You like that?
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Okay.
I'm okay with it.
Just don't leave your fan on and close the door, okay?
Okay.
All right. Fan down. You don't want to be victim to that.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Going down, having a look at the items here, as ShowMaker does have his Luden's Echo completed. Oblivion Orb done alongside his Merc Treads, just to make sure he has a little bit of that flat magic penetration. Now the siege is beginning in this mid lane. When you see LeBlanc and Varus together, it is slightly scary to be an Afreeca Freecs player because that pick potential is pretty huge with those 2 champions combined. But they don't necessarily want to be hanging out in a lane together, wanting to get that farm by themselves. So top side of the map is where ShowMaker is heading to, just to grab that extra money.
And at this point, Afreeca's just sort of playing ping pong. They're going to try to maybe go down and get that bottom turret.
Well, Kiin doing a fair bit of damage to Nuguri here. He's going to eat through that physical shield pretty comfortably as Kiin takes a lot of damage. But 3 members of Afreeca Freecs will murder the Camille, and they'll transition that anger towards this turret immediately afterwards. DAMWON, what can they get around this map? 2 turrets now open to them. The amount of damage that goes down onto this outer turret bot side is pretty fast, unless they transition to defend this outer turret mid lane, and I respect this decision. Very valuable turret in mid, and is going to stay at about half health. Featherstorm gathered by Canyon. Senan dashes away. We're fine.
So, they're going to lose about 20 minions in total, because ShowMaker is going to crash 3 waves up in top. They lost 2 minions in mid to make the play happen onto the Camille. And so, all in all, it's still not that bad of a situation for DAMWON, even though Nuguri did end up dying, because it was such a heavy commitment by Afreeca.
Yeah.
And now a minute until the Mountain Dragon. This is where, hold on, let me turn this.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where a team fight is going to unfold, and Baron might be on the agenda, no spoilers.
Oh, okay. I mean, that was a legit spoiler. I looked at you going into the script and checking what was going on
You
the
did.
rest of the game. What should you do that?
You gotta get your eyes checked. I thought I'm supposed to be the blind one.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you are.
Alright.
Because you couldn't see yourself doing stuff. Which is just ludicrous.
I need my poker chip so that I can get the echolocation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Batman. Okay. Nuguri here, they're protecting this Mountain Drake area. 20 seconds until that one does come back up. A Cloud Drake apiece for both Afreeca and DAMWON right now. As, okay. Canyon's hijack was running out, so he decided to press the button.
All right.
The face-off has started.
Here we go, Alice. Are you ready?
I am, look, somewhat.
Are you excited?
I am very
excited. Are you not
excited.
entertained?
I am well and truly entertained.
All right. Here we go.
I'm sitting here on a desk next to you, my friend. Could life get any better?
Well, I'm not sure. This says it's been 9 kills in 21 minutes.
Okay, so things could maybe be a bit higher pace.
Yeah.
How about this, though, as BeryL's going to get chain stunned, but it's the Renekton that's going down very low. Flash forward from Nuclear is very aggressive, but he's not actually punished for it. Immediately, the flash out from aiming, the quickness doesn't get enough work done, and now Nuguri's found his way into this fight. Afreeca just seemed too squishy to get anything done, and now are forced back underneath their turret. DAMWON Gaming have found themselves on this map and are asserting dominance.
So they're asserting dominance right now. They ended up winning the team fight. Canyon, he's trying to get the Mountain Dragon. ShowMaker coming the showstopper, apparently, as aiming just got aimed on.
He did. He got aimed at.
Yeah, he did.
That's the problem.
Canyon,
when the aiming becomes the aim.
Okay. You know what, though? I would like to bring your attention to something in the inventories.
Uh-huh. Oh.
Yeah, you see it, don't you?
Yeah.
You see it.
That's a tome.
What?
A tome.
No, I wasn't talking about that.
No? Which one?
No, I'll tell you right after this replay. As BeryL with the absolute 10-head on the Tom Kench here, baiting Kiin in. Okay, using the cleanse to slightly get away. ShowMaker, here comes the show-stopping play. So manages to get on to aiming and execute him in what seemed like an unfair amount of distance that was collapsed. Now, the thing that I wanted to bring your attention to in the inventory. Okay.
Which one is it?
The
tome.
No,
book,
no,
right?
not the book. No, I don't know what you're speaking of. The control word.
Ah, okay, cool.
You saw that?
Yeah, no, I saw that.
Now that allows them to control vision.
Oh, okay.
And see other wards.
Cool. I'm glad we're not talking about Morellonomicons again, because I thought that, that
I
was
would never talk about that item.
Well, I mean, you're going to have to today. There's multiple being built at this point in time.
Elise
Dread's on the way to second item Morellonomicon.
It's all just a sick joke.
It is. Well, ShowMaker made the joke first, and Dread's just copying him. Doesn't have quite the income that the LeBlanc has, especially now that she's on a killing spree. And Afreeca Freecs, as you can see, they had a gold lead, and now they have a mid laner. Nicely done. Realm Warp going to be utilized here from Ucal, but he's going to be interrupted. Canyon going down relatively low, and the stopwatch comes in. Ucal, a lot of damage potential, but has to land these buttons. Good devour from BeryL to get Nuguri out of harm's way as Dread is slowed down by the tongue lash, and the rest of the Afreeca Freecs make their way up. It's just a clean pick, no punishment on the side of DAMWON.
And so now DAMWON, they're going to make their way back to the mid lane. Ping Pong is awaiting, but Afreeca says no.
Yep, there's a Baron buff to throw yourselves at, and they may as well jump in there. Control Ward jumps into this pit as well as Nuclear. Chains of Corruption fly forward. The auto attack's going to be there as well, and Afreeca have just straight up committed to it. The quickness is going to stop Canyon from getting in, and Dread locks down the Baron. Beautifully done. Decisive play, double kill. If you count the Baron as a champion, as Ucal wants to be out of flash, but doesn't have another one available as BeryL limps out of there. DAMWON Gaming just have the Baron buff plucked from right under their noses.
Yeah, and that was a very decisive and fast Baron call. ShowMaker.
Yep, dives forward, aiming's burning to death. A lot of damage there, but it's not enough. Last tick not going to do it.
Yep. Not quite able to get that kill there onto the Xayah. This will mean that there's still a couple of members with the Baron buff remaining. This is ShowMaker just honestly not reacting in time. He definitely had a way out of there. But then Canyon, BeryL, and Nuguri, they're all here. But the Zanya's Hourglass, really well timed by Ucal, ends up foiling all of their plans. Good devour by BeryL to bring him out of harm's way. And then this was really good. Canyon, he has his flash available. There's no smite. And then Senan decides, you know what, I'm going to go over the wall. I'm going to lock this jungler up in case he was getting any funny ideas. And then with that, they're able to steal away the Baron. Varus goes down, BeryL follows shortly thereafter. But now the question still becomes, is can Ucal outfight DAMWON game?
I think he can probably out-talk them, as certainly has been very, very vocal in recent games. Great to see from Ucal, who was sort of a positive force for KT Rolster as well, when they were in their heyday of 2018. Their more recent one, anyway. Piercing Arrow not doing a massive amount of damage, still waiting on Infinity Edge here for Nuclear. On this Varus, still, those autos can actually be threaded through, it can be dangerous. Afreeca now with the Baron buff, looking to try and siege ShowMaker on the flank. Nuguri's making his way down, but he's very far away from this mid lane at the moment. And Afreeca want to be playing with multiple lanes with this Baron buff, and at the moment are unable to break through this mid-outer turret. Trying to keep theirs alive as well. Actually, the counter push from DAMWON is pretty scary, given the fact that that turret is ignorable.
Well, the Baron, though, only having a minute remaining on it is very, very lackluster. They have not been able to achieve what they should have been able to.
Yep. And Nuguri towards the top side is now looking to try and defend against Kiin's Renekton. This inner turret should be pretty easy to take down. Kiin only needs a few auto attacks there, but he's respecting this Camille that's scaling further and further into this game. Ravenous Hydra now done alongside the Trinity Force. And Afreeca now think that this might be their moment, but that's a very early repel. A lot of damage onto Ucal, as well as DAMWON Gaming may have found the team fight they're looking for. Dread goes golden, is going to be able to keep this one okay for the moment, given the fact that he didn't have repel available, but Nuguri unable to lock down those kills. But without Ucal, it's going to be more and more difficult for Afreeca to find anything with this Baron. Only 15 seconds to go. And DAMWON, they turned it into a 1.4k Baron power play, which ain't bad at all. Also keeping the majority of the structures alive is great news for DAMWON.
Yeah. And they picked themselves up the second Cloud Dragon for themselves, which I suppose will help with the LeBlanc and Camille at that point, now that they have two of them. As we take another look, and this is just Afreeca really forcing the agenda, and then DAMWON just being really quick to capitalize on this. You notice that Kiin, the Renekton, he's nowhere even remotely close while all of this is happening. In fact, he wasted his time running down into mid.
Yep, probably could have just taken that inner turret that was already relatively low on the top side of the map. Afreeca still do have that gold advantage, but Drake's going in favor of DAMWON. Next one in 4 minutes. In fact, as that Baron play was going on, I believe DAMWON were actually taking the Drake. So having a look at the total damage dealt, a lot of Varus damage. Piercing Arrows have been chunking aiming throughout this game, who's been a bit of a passenger, honestly.
Yeah.
When aiming's on, it feels like the Afreeca Freecs are a very different team. But right now, it's just trying to catch whichever minion waves DAMWON let him get to. 3 items are done, though. And the Xayah is going to be a scary force if he can get things working in this game.
And, well, DAMWON with 3 minutes now remaining until the next Mountain Dragon comes up. There is only going to be the Baron, which is realistically going to be on the map for a fight to occur from. And Afreeca, they should have been in a much stronger position than they are right now relative to the team composition. But with the LeBlanc having so much gold and having played as passively as they have on the side lanes, it's allowed DAMWON to have somewhat of a real fighting chance inside of this game, and Afreeca could possibly lose.
DAMWON looking for a bit of a gank onto the Crocodile, potentially. There's Dread lying in wait there, but does go back home. That is going to mean that Kiin does have to do the same. Can't exactly overextend now against Nuguri, who's building more and more items. This game is far from over. Felt like Afreeca had so many inroads to get things done, but DAMWON being able to turn those key, crucial fights in the mid-game, it's been so big for them. 1,000 gold. Another Baron available right now.
Yeah.
Pops out of the void. Pretty comfy now in his pit. Not wanting to be taken down just yet.
I'm getting pretty comfy sitting next to you right now, Alice. I'll be honest.
Aiming not so comfy. He has to use his ultimate to get out of the way of those chains of corruption. We don't have to worry about
that. That is comfy. Do you know how So you would imagine that Zaya jumps right there, right?
Yeah.
Wrong. What she does is she contacted Elon Musk, and that Kate propels her up using some new technology. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's actually just like a gust of wind. You know, it's like she's floating on a cloud.
So she just floats majestically
up
into the air.
It is the best aerial hammock money can buy.
Wow. And does like time slow down while you use it as well?
Essentially,
so, like,
yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
All right, so.
That's really cool.
Yeah, she was really comfortable.
Okay.
Not as comfortable as I am next to you right now, but.
No, that wasn't in the equation.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't even compare.
Can't even compare it. I'm almost falling asleep. That's how comfortable I am.
Yeah.
You know.
You'd hope so. I mean, you've got insomnia, so like maybe we could maybe we could encourage this.
You know, I was doing really good for about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I was sleeping very well, not waking up, and then something happened yesterday. I don't know what. I think it was when one of my friends canceled.
So you felt
Lion
guilty.
King.
I get it. All right, let's hold that thought for a moment. We'll be coming back to that as Dominus has been popped here. Kiin desperately trying to escape, wanting to turn this one around. Remember, he's got a hell of a lot of cooldown reduction with that Spear of Sojin. Now Senan's going to turn up. The quickness was pre-popped very early. DAMWON is set up for this, though. They were in position for a counterattack. Weren't able to take down Kiin, but no one falls for it either.
And that's just going to mean that we're going to get to the Mountain Dragon coming up in 25 seconds.
Yep.
And the script ended here, so I'm actually not sure.
Oh, wow.
Where we're going now. Yeah, I think that we're...
Well, hopefully G-Sun can get a delivery of
yeah,
that script. I mean, she was a bit tardy about it this morning as well.
It's really ridiculous, honestly. Not even sure.
It's okay. It's first day back. First day back after.
That's okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
We can
forgive her. Yeah.
We can tolerate it for the moment. Far too good at translating to really stay too mad, you know? Got to have all things in context.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But Guardian going to save them from the piercing arrow as another BF sword completed from Nuclear. He does a lot of damage if he can sit there and auto attack.
The minions seem to be getting a lot more action, actually, than any of the champions this game, as Nuguri...
Oh, no! Just leashes it for Kiin. Comes in, says, oh, thank you very much, and snaps that one up.
That was like picking up your medication from the pharmacy.
Yeah.
Renekton, you know, I mean, he probably needs Mountain.
Yeah, Nuguri was like slaving away, getting each individual pill into the little jar, you know? Each individual one by one. Ridiculous. And then Kiin comes in, doesn't even pay for it.
Yeah.
Steals it right out from under his nose. All of that effort. As the flash forward, they're looking for BeryL. They're going to trade flash for flash. Senan comes in with the quickness, though. Rest of the team absolutely not on board. Nuguri butting heads. We have Dominus back available for Kiin.
Atlas
he presses that button, that is almost insta-win.
Is this game pog for you as well?
I'm pretty pog about this video game, man.
I'm for yourself.
No, not excited?
I'm pretty resident sleeper right now.
Oh, no. Dance game. Come on, bro.
The lull state is, it's quite strong.
Is it? I mean, we just had a flash cocoon literally a second ago. Kiin managed to play his way out of a 1 versus 3 a few seconds before that. What more do you want?
Maybe some kills?
No.
Maybe.
It's not about that.
Maybe
this is what peak League of Legends looks like.
Maybe some turrets going down.
The minions almost did that topside. Do you remember that? That was a big moment, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was.
It's like, you know, you get excited about like 1 or 2 champions. What about 17 minions?
That's like when you ask one of your grandparents to do something on the computer, and then you just have to sit down and do it yourself.
Yep.
That's like what the minions were doing.
Like it. So that's even AI coming in to do it for you. That's even worse.
One day, Baron Nashor will be captured.
He already has this game. They've completed that achievement.
And then he escaped for probably good reason.
Yeah.
You know.
Elder Drake going to be up in 3 minutes' time. Both of the teams with very similar Drake count and similar Drakes as well, of course, as you can see. So not exactly giving anyone a big edge when it comes to creating that situation. And the gold is entirely even.
Oh, I just thought about something.
Even.
You ready?
Yeah.
Because we can't make... Oh, well,
BeryL may be dead. ShowMaker is coming in from the flank, though. Nuguri there as well. Canyon does have a quickness available to him, but Nuguri is forced to flash very early. Canyon into his Zonya's Hourglass. Nuguri trying to find the backline, but Ucal stays alive for so long. Flashes out of the way. No shields available for this Rise, but he's still there. They trade 1-for-1, but the Rise is going to fall afterwards as well. And BeryL goes down very low, now aiming. It might be his time. He may be able to find it. Nuclear is going to be there. The dice not far enough for Kiin.
And this
ShowMaker
is going to mean...
is backing. Can they go to the Baron right now?
DAMWON Gaming, though, look at that heal on Varus. Oh, okay. That's gross.
That Bloodthirster is
God, someone's stacking Solari's Locket.
Yeah.
He's no fun at parties, I'll tell you that much, okay?
I mean, neither is Iron's Solari.
Yeah.
It's only the last 4 seconds.
Well, let's take a look at how this all transpires. So after 15 minutes of ping-pong back and forth, BeryL right in the mid lane, getting caught up, and then the whole fight just goes so chaotic right there, aiming, trying to get onto ShowMaker at the very top. Ucal gets extremely low. Nuguri looking like he was going to be able to get away, but goes back in onto Dread as other members started going down too, and aiming so close. He's able to get Tom Kent right at the very end.
And he wished that he had 2 flashes for that particular fight, because he was a flash away from a triple kill there as Senan.
Oh, here we go.
He had a grand enter his way into
do
the
believe
Baron's lair.
This is the tilt Baron.
Well, half the health bar is going down extraordinarily low. Another quickness comes in as Dread just snaps up the Baron instantly. Senan flashes to get out of the way. The Spider not so lucky. He's taken down off the back end. Aiming does a lot of damage, but he's going to die for it. Kiin has Dominus popped. He's desperately trying to find their way out of there. DAMWON Gaming are not going to be able to rout the last 3 members of the Afreeca Freecs. Their second Baron has now been taken. And
so they end up bursting the Baron down and getting out by the skin of their teeth, but now Aiming and Dread are dead for this Elder Dragon, and it's coming up in 10 seconds. DAMWON Gaming, they're already in position, and Afreeca, they're walking in blind, but it doesn't look like DAMWON actually wanted to try to go for a pick. Had they might have been able to find something. Now, the scariest thing here is that Varus is a monster. Aiming is coming, though, in 12 seconds.
Yeah, he does have that teleport available, exactly as you mentioned. No smiter in here, so Afreeca need to start up some sort of fight. Varus somehow able to take that dragon, which shows how incredibly close it is. Grey Health not even going to be eaten there as BeryL just flashes, gets himself out of the way, and the Elder Drake is taken by DAMWON Gaming with no response from the Afreeca Freecs, unless they can move a minion wave towards a turret. ShowMaker cashing over for a moment with the distortion, but doesn't want to play with fire too much, despite having it at his behest.
And so now, the Baron buff and the Elder Dragon, they're going to be reasonably the same amount of time. We take a look at what's happening here. Senan casts his ultimate to try to dissuade anyone from coming into the pit and casting abilities, but I do think that he was going to go over the wall to lock up Canyon once again, just like he had done before. In the end, it's a 1-for-1 inside of the Baron pit, and then this was ShowMaker and Nuguri trying to chase everyone down, but not able to get onto anyone.
And the Realm Warp was what got a little bit messed up there.
Yeah.
Missed that as the team fight was going on, but Dread just couldn't get in.
Couldn't
get into that realm. Otherwise, how are you supposed to walk? You know?
You're asking the important questions. I feel like they should hire you.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Not just a pretty face, which is lucky. Aiming. Finds 1 auto attack. It's good news. His Bloodthirster is on the way, so he's going to have a lot of damage availability when that one is completed, but Nuclear with his QSS is going to be able to stay active in these team fights, get those consistent autos working out for him. Afreeca Freecs take down yet another turret, but now you can see on the top side of the map, Nuguri, picture in picture. Guardian Angel done, 4 items completed. It's even with Kiin, but just, he's Camille, and Kiin is Renekton.
It looks like we're going to get one more song and a dance atlas before this game's over. So, getting back to the thing that I was trying to talk about before they rudely interrupted with the team fight.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, the audacity.
Yeah, bring me back. Give me a reminder.
Let me bring it to you. So, have you noticed how Baron Nashor is purple?
Yes,
Okay.
I have.
Okay.
I
And have you
I
noticed
astutely
how
noticed.
the elemental dragons are various colors?
Yes.
Okay. Mewtwo was purple.
He was.
The legendary birds were various colors.
They were indeed.
Mew is sort of white pinkish.
Yeah.
Elder
yeah.
Dragon is sort of white pinkish.
Oh.
It's not a conspiracy or anything, but I'll be here all night.
I think it's just fact. I
Yeah.
think it's just fact.
Yeah,
I think
pretty-
also that
Facts.
Summoner's Rift is in need of a collaboration / reskin.
Oh my god. I think this is actually just another map.
Yeah, that's what we need
You know,
to do.
if you swim far enough off Cinnabar Island, you get to Summoner's Rift.
Yeah, and you see the signal and things
Yeah,
like that.
absolutely.
As Dread goes golden, Kiin getting taken down relatively low, but the Realm Warp gets everyone in here. Senan doesn't get a lot of value out of the quickness, but the Guardian Angel has already been popped. Canyon also has to go gold, and the Tahm Kench is dead. Nuguri's gonna follow, and Canyon has absolutely nowhere to go. Aiming will find the autos and will find the kill, and the Afreeca Freecs may have just taken down DAMWON if they can get a minion wave to a damn turret.
Well, that's part of the entire game. Now, can ShowMaker try to salvage this one
Nuclear
more
is
time?
still alive as well. He does have a lot of damage potential. However, if there's no one there to be a frontline for him,
And they have
Just
teleport
don't
on
think he can
Ucal
actually
and
get there.
Kiin, so they can lock up turrets. Ooh, not the best arrow. Oh, he has to be really careful.
oh yeah. If Ucal walks up to him and presses his W button, I think he dies without any
Oh,
flux
man.
involved.
10 seconds.
Yep, look at all of the damage potential they have, though, as in goes ShowMaker. A lot of damage onto two members of the Afreeca Freecs, but he's going to be taken down. Nuclear now finds himself on the wrong side of this one, but it looks like Nexus turrets are the priority. The Afreeca Freecs want to take this one down. The flash forward, the Devourer is there, but the quickness gets the charm regardless. And the second Nexus turret falls. 5 members of the Afreeca Freecs will focus the base of first place. DAMWON Gaming and should be able to take this one, but Ucal looking to get it turned on him. 3 kills already underneath this turret, but Kiin locks it down, keeps his mind in the right place, and the Afreeca Freecs upset DAMWON Gaming.
And they... I don't quite know how to narrate that. After 2 Barons and a lot of floundering around, they found an opening arbitrarily in the bottom. They capitalized on it. They rode a minion wave all the way up, and they just narrowly, I can't speak. Yeah,
Well,
they-
I mean,
they would be there.
it's a confuddling situation, LS,
is.
because Afreeca...
Break it down for me.
Afreeca took 2 Barons this game, couldn't siege with them. And then DAMWON decided to one-up them by taking an Elder Drake and then being unable to teamfight with it. That was basically what happened.
Sounds like they, you know what?
It's perplexing. It's not how the game's supposed to go.
I actually don't know how to feel about this game. I genuinely don't.
Coach Kim is feeling the same way. There's certainly some concerned faces in the DAMWON booth, as we don't know who to give the MVP to. And then there's the, like, when in doubt, I guess, like, I don't know, choose Kiin?
You know, I mean, Senan did lock them up for Baron.
That is a good point.
Right?
That is a good point.
So, probably not, though. Support life, you know?
Yep.
It's pretty hard.
That being said, anyone that can do decently well in a lane against Nuguri certainly gets a vote from me. As this is how this one all started.
Yeah.
Aiming, just managing to get into the very edge of that Realm Warp.
Jeez, this is like Doctor Strange when he came through in Endgame. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. And it's like,
Pretty much.
what has just a cluster? Yeah,
Yeah.
I completely understand.
That's exactly what was happening right here, as Kiin able to shred through BeryL.
And
And
then
Canyon, yeah, he tries to run for his life and delay the minions.
it's not going to be enough. Yeah, exactly. And these structures just go down incredibly quickly. Aiming
And ShowMaker
does have a lot of damage available.
He tries to go in right there, and the intent is really good, but he ends up getting hit by the Rune Prison, locked up. And then it was just too little too late. Senan goes in there, locks up the Varus just long enough. BeryL goes down on Tahm, and then Nuclear forced to retreat onto the fountain to get some HP. Nuguri, he took his time actually going in there on Camille. Canyon going with Nuguri, trying to lock people up, but then Nuclear forgot to turn around in time. You can see he actually kited up towards the top left, and so Kiin got out of range. And maybe there's some universe where they can actually defend this, but it wasn't that.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't. And this is an Afreeca Freecs that had a game plan, and they stuck to it. I mean, certain things didn't go necessarily to plan. However, the amount of damage that their Xayah did, nicely done. The amount of work that Dread did in the early game on the Elise, absolutely fantastic. Felt like a pretty quintessential Elise Dread performance this game, but it was a very close one. Only 2,000 gold ahead, not even that. 1.4 ahead at the very end of that game. Just nutty. And you look at this gold graph and you're like, wow, they were like really ahead and then they fell down again. No, it's the gold never moved larger than 2,000 gold in the lead for either team.
Yeah.
So really, really cool series. And the Afreeca Freecs are impressing us more and more week to week. I mean, being able to pick up the win against Kingzone last time we saw them, and now being able to take game 1 against a first-place DAMWON Gaming, really nicely done. And they could only get better with Taliyah being available if it's not banned in game number 2. Let's find out after the break.
엘리트 플래시 닮아. 얘네 스캔 빠지면 해. 먼저 할 필요 없어.
야 얘네 20초.
야, 텔 타라. 텔 타고 끝낼 생각하자.
텔 탈게. 야 근데 라인 클리어 된다 근데 르블랑 때문에.
르블랑이 플래시 또 보면 막아.
야 벤치 빼야 돼. 나좀 멀어. 르블랑.
야 바로 쏴.
야 카메 좀 줘.
야 오케이.
빼. 바로. 웨이브 없잖아.
야 빼 한번 빼.
잡아. 아 사올게. 야 하나만 더 탱이야. 네 먼저 카메. 타.
야 나봐줘.
막 깔아 봐. 나 죽었어. 카메. 서 제발. 제발.
나이스!
나이스!